Okay, so you're bundled up inside and it's freezing out there. And even the thought of another snowstorm is making you feel kind of blah.
Yeah, we get it. Winter can be tough.
You're probably looking for ways to beat those winter blues, right?
And lucky for you, we're diving into some research about how travel can help.
Really? Travel? Like even just thinking about a trip can give you a mood boost.
Apparently so.
Interesting. And what about the cost? Everyone knows travel can be expensive.
Don't worry. We'll also uncover some clever ways to travel without breaking the bank.
I am so ready for this deep dive. Let's get started.
That's good.
But before we get into the travel part,
Right.
maybe we should take a second to understand what we're actually dealing with here. We're not just talking about a case of the Mondays, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Our source material actually delves into something called seasonal affective disorder.
Oh, yeah.
SAD. Yeah, SAD. And SAD, it goes beyond just feeling a little down when it's gloomy outside.
I see.
It's a type of depression that's linked to those shorter daylight hours we get in winter.
Mm-hmm.
And the cold weather,
Oh, wow. So there's like a biological reason why some of us feel more tired or irritable during winter.
you got it. It's not just you being a grump.
That's a relief to hear.
Basically, less sunlight.
Mm.
It disrupts our body's natural sleep-wake cycle. And that can affect how we produce important mood-regulating hormones.
Okay, interesting. What kind of hormones are we talking about?
Things like serotonin and melatonin.
Right, right.
But it actually goes even deeper than that.
Really?
It even affects the hypothalamus,
Mm.
which is that part of the brain that controls things like your mood, your sleep, your appetite.
Wow, so it really is more than just those winter blahs then, huh?
It is.
But, okay, here's where I think it gets interesting. The source suggests that travel can actually help with SAD,
Yeah,
and it's not just about, laying out on a beach somewhere.
exactly. What I think is so fascinating is how travel taps into our brain's reward system.
Okay, tell me more about that.
Even just planning a trip can trigger the release of dopamine.
Oh, dopamine.
Yeah.
The pleasure chemical?
Yeah, exactly. And anticipation. It gives us something to look forward to, a sense of purpose, right?
Right. And that can be really powerful when we're feeling down, especially in winter.
Exactly.
So basically, our brains are getting a mood boost before we even pack our bags.
You got it.
I love that. Okay, so let's say we're ready to book that winter trip. What are our options? I'm guessing a classic escape the cold kind of trip is a good place to start.
For sure. Tropical destinations are always a good idea. Places like the Caribbean, Southeast Asia, those offer tons of sunshine and warmth.
Yeah, and that's not just about, feeling good, right?
Right. No. That sunlight exposure, it actually helps to combat those SAD effects directly.
Uh-huh.
Well, it boosts those serotonin levels we were talking about, and it also helps to regulate your circadian rhythm.
Makes sense to me. Honestly, I can practically feel my mood lifting just thinking about it.
Right.
But hold on, I know some people who actually love winter. Like, you couldn't pay them to trade their snow boots for flip-flops.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
What does the research say about that?
It actually recommends embracing those winter vibes. Think about those stunning snow-covered landscapes.
Oh, like the Swiss Alps.
Exactly. But for a true deep dive,
Okay.
how about a lesser-known spot like the Dolomites?
The Dolomites, where are those?
They're in Italy.
Oh, wow. Tell me more.
Okay, so they have this breathtaking scenery, these charming little villages, world-class skiing, and these amazing, cozy mountain lodges.
Nice.
You can go snowshoeing or ice skating, or even just relax in a sauna with these incredible views.
Oh my gosh, I need to go there.
It's all about finding joy in that winter experience.
Okay, you've officially sold me on the Dolomites.
Awesome.
But now I'm picturing my bank account dwindling faster than the daylight in December.
Uh-huh. I hear you travel can get expensive, especially during peak season.
Yeah. So does our source offer any hope for us budget-conscious travelers out there?
It does, actually.
Huh.
The research emphasizes that you don't have to empty your savings to get the benefits of travel.
Okay, good to know. What do they recommend?
Well, traveling in the off-season can get you incredible deals on flights and places to stay. And for a lot of destinations, the off-season is actually during the winter.
Oh, wow. So we can basically turn the off-season into our on-season.
Exactly. And save money while doing it.
That is a great idea. Plus, it doesn't even have to be a 2-week-long trip, does it?
Nope. Even a short weekend getaway can give you that mental refresh you might need.
Right. Just a change of scenery, a break from routine.
Exactly. Even just a few days can do wonders.
I'm starting to notice a theme here. It seems like a lot of the benefits come from just breaking free from our daily lives and routines, no matter where we go or for how long.
You're totally right. It's about stepping outside of your comfort zone, trying new things, and really experiencing the world with a fresh perspective.
I like that. So let's say someone listening is convinced travel is the key to beating their winter blues.
Okay.
What advice does our source give for planning a trip that'll give them the biggest mood boost?
Well, first, think about your accommodations. Try to find a place with lots of natural light.
Especially in winter, that's important.
Exactly. It can really help regulate your sleep cycle
Hmm.
and keep your energy levels up.
And I imagine packing layers is key, too.
Oh, yeah. Whether you're going somewhere tropical or to the mountains, you never know what kind of weather you'll get.
Very true. And while we're on the subject of being prepared, what about staying active while traveling?
Oh, that's another great point. The source actually highlights how important that is.
Really?
Uh,
I mean, I get that it's good to be active in general, but why is it so important when you're traveling, especially when we're trying to beat the winter blues?
well, think about it. Winter usually makes us feel pretty sluggish and low energy, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Staying active can actually help to counteract that.
Okay, I see.
Exercise releases endorphins.
Those are the natural mood boosters, right?
Yep. And exercise can also help you sleep better, which is super important for fighting those winter blues.
So it's not just about, lounging by the pool or indulging in all the amazing food.
Right. Those definitely have their place. It's also about making sure you're moving your body and incorporating some activity into your travel plans.
Gotcha. Whether it's exploring a new city on foot or hiking in the mountains or hitting the slopes.
Exactly. Staying active will just enhance all those positive effects of your trip.
Makes sense. I gotta say, you've made a pretty compelling case for travel as a way to bust those winter blues.
Thanks.
But what about those times when a getaway just isn't possible?
Yeah.
Maybe time or budget or work commitments get in the way. Does our source offer any hope for us stay-at-home folks?
Of course, it acknowledges that travel isn't always feasible, so it provides some great alternative strategies for beating the winter blues at home.
Okay, I'm all ears. What are some of those strategies?
Well, one of the simplest but most effective ones is maximizing your exposure to natural light.
I feel like I should be doing that already.
You should, even on cloudy days. Spending time near a window or taking a quick walk outside, it can make a difference.
I can definitely relate to that. I always feel a little better after I get some sunshine, even just a little bit.
See?
But what about when we're stuck indoors? Are we just doomed to a winter of darkness and gloom?
Absolutely not. The source suggests creating a cozy and inviting atmosphere right at home.
Oh, okay. How do we do that?
It's all about surrounding yourself with things that make you feel good.
Okay, so we're talking about more than just cranking up the heat.
Yeah. Think about warm lighting.
Hmm.
Maybe try swapping out those harsh white light bulbs for softer, warmer ones.
Okay.
And consider adding some texture, with plush throws and blankets.
Ooh, yeah, like velvet or wool.
Exactly. Those are great.
Yeah.
And also, don't underestimate how powerful scent can be.
Scents.
Yeah. A diffuser with some uplifting essential oils like citrus or peppermint
Oh, yeah.
can really change the whole mood of a space.
It's crazy how much our surroundings can affect how we feel.
I know, right?
So we're basically creating a little sanctuary for ourselves.
Yeah.
A haven from the winter blues.
Right in our own homes.
And while we're at it, what about adding some elements of nature?
Ooh, that's a great idea.
Hmm?
Houseplants not only look good, but they also purify the air,
Right.
and they create that sense of peace and tranquility. And even a small vase with some fresh flowers.
Yeah, that can definitely brighten up your day.
Exactly. It's like you're bringing the outdoors inside,
Mm.
especially when it's too cold to actually spend much time outside.
Love that.
Yeah.
But let's be real. There are some days when even the coziest atmosphere just can't shake that winter sluggishness. What do we do on those days?
Well, remember what we said about staying active when you're traveling?
Yeah.
That same principle applies at home.
Oh, right.
Regular exercise is a great tool to have against those winter blues.
It is. But sometimes it can be so hard to find the motivation to exercise, especially when it's cold and dark out.
For sure, for sure. Any tips on how to get moving when we just want to stay curled up under a blanket? Definitely. Think about what activities you really enjoy.
Okay.
Maybe it's dancing to your favorite music, or joining a yoga class, or going for a brisk walk with a friend. Even a short workout. It can make a world of difference.
And we got to remember those endorphins.
Mm.
They're worth it.
Totally. It's all about finding what works best for you.
Right. And making it part of your routine.
Exactly. Consistency is key.
Yeah.
And, if all else fails,
Yeah.
there's always the power of anticipation.
Oh, I see where you're going with this. Planning a future trip.
Exactly. Even if it's months away.
That's a great point. Having something to look forward to, like a light at the end of the winter tunnel.
Yes. It can be incredibly motivating and uplifting.
It gives you something positive to focus on.
Yep. And it helps you get through those gloomy days.
So to sum it all up, we've got a bunch of tools to use to fight those winter blues. We can escape to a warm destination, embrace a winter wonderland, create a cozy retreat at home, or even just use the power of anticipation to get us through.
And the best part is, you can even combine all of these strategies.
I love that. Even if you're staying home this winter, you can still incorporate those travel vibes into your everyday life.
Exactly. It's about bringing that travel mindset home with you.
That sense of adventure and exploration.
Yes. It's about being intentional, about creating moments of joy, wonder, and connection.
Even when you're not traveling.
Exactly.
I feel like we've covered so much today.
We have.
From the science behind the winter blues to all the different ways we can combat them. But before we wrap up, I want to go back to something we talked about earlier.
Okay.
The science behind why these strategies work so well.
Great idea.
One of the key takeaways from our source material is that travel, even just thinking about travel, provides a powerful combination of benefits.
Right.
So what's actually happening in our brains and bodies when we travel, or even just think about traveling?
Well, as we mentioned before, anticipation. It triggers the release of dopamine, that feel-good neurotransmitter.
Right.
And then when we're actually traveling, we're exposed to all these new sights, sounds, smells, and tastes.
It's stimulating.
Exactly. And all those novel experiences, they stimulate our senses and engage our minds, and they actually help create new neural pathways.
So it's like a workout for our brains.
Exactly. Travel forces us to get outside of our comfort zones and adapt to new environments.
Right.
Which can boost our cognitive flexibility and resilience. And then there are the physical benefits, too.
Of course.
All that walking and exploring and trying new activities, it all keeps our bodies moving and helps to increase our overall fitness.
It's amazing how connected our mental and physical well-being really are.
It is.
So even if we can't just jet off to a tropical island every time we feel down,
Right.
we can still bring those elements of novelty and stimulation and physical activity into our everyday lives.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And those small changes can make a big difference. It's all about taking charge of our well-being.
And what's really awesome is that the research backs all of this up.
That's right.
Our source mentions that even short trips can lead to significant reductions in stress, improved mood, and even a greater sense of accomplishment.
And what I find fascinating is that these benefits aren't limited to travel. The same principles apply to other activities that give us a break from routine, things that allow us to recharge and reconnect with ourselves.
Like taking a weekend art class or volunteering.
Exactly, or even just trying a new restaurant.
It seems like the key is to break out of that winter rut, both physically and mentally, and really engage with the world in a way that brings us joy.
I couldn't have said it better myself. It's about being open to new possibilities, embracing the unexpected, and finding those little moments of delight.
I love that. So winter doesn't have to be a season of doom and gloom.
Absolutely not. It can be a time of exploration, self-discovery, and even rejuvenation. It all depends on how we choose to approach it.
All right, as we're wrapping up this part of our deep dive, what's the one key takeaway you want our listeners to remember?
That's a tough one. There's so much good stuff here. But I'd say that winter blues are a real thing. But they don't have to control your experience of the whole season.
I love that. You have the power to take charge of your well-being and make winter a time of renewal and joy.
Exactly. Whether it's through travel, embracing winter activities, or even creating that cozy haven at home.
So well said. And to leave our listeners with a final thought to ponder. If you could plan any kind of winter escape, no matter how big or small,
Right.
where would it be? And what activities would bring you the most joy?
Just imagine yourself there. Feel that crisp air on your face, the warmth of the sun, or maybe the thrill of the snow.
Oh, yeah.
Let that image be your guide. It can fuel your motivation and inspire you to make this winter a truly memorable one.
Such a good point. And remember, the journey to beating those winter blues, it's an ongoing one.
It is.
So keep exploring, keep experimenting, and keep discovering what works for you.
Couldn't agree more.
Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into beating the winter blues.
It's been a pleasure.
Until next time, keep seeking knowledge and embracing the joy of discovery.
See ya.
Bye.